This media coverage is brought to you by Risk Africa in association with SSP Worldwide, leading providers of insurance technology solutions.
You're watching Risk Africa TV. It's the third day of the annual Insurance Organization conference in Tunisia. I'm joined now by Clinton Brown, Business Development Manager at SSP Africa. Thank you for joining us, Clinton.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
How are you enjoying the conference so far, and what have you found interesting?
I think the conference is actually very well run. It's been very insightful for us. A lot of great value. Certainly, we interact and network with insurers and reinsurers, simply, I think, to understand their challenges, and their challenges ultimately inform us, from their perspective. I think as a technology provider, ultimately, some of the things it points to is the data and understanding data and how that data can ultimately inform and assist a lot of the insurers and the reinsurers.
So the focus this week has been on key opportunities and trends for the insurance market in Africa. Obviously, digitisation is a major game changer for many markets the world over. Are African insurers keeping up with that change? And what are the opportunities for insurers in that space?
Digitalisation is a very, very interesting concept. What we see is certainly technology, and specifically social media, is driving change. And with the driving of the change, what you certainly see is customers are shifting their focus. And unfortunately, with the customers shifting their focus, ultimately what they're doing is they're demanding of insurers and essentially different things from insurers. And the problem with insurers is they now need to adapt to those specific requirements. Now, interestingly enough, what you'll find, and what we've done in a lot of our research across our customers, we found that in a lot more of the mature markets, i.e. the Europes, where there's a lot more digital type of solutions, the challenges for those insurers are ultimately very, very similar to the Africans. What we do find, which is quite interesting, is what we call the customer journey. That's essentially the silver lining. Now, if you get to understand the actual customer journey and what a customer is asking of an insurer, one will ultimately identify how to assist that insurer. So I think the challenge for Africa is essentially we have predominantly a broker-led market. So the question to the brokers is, as a particular customer who is now looking at social media and looking at digital online and not necessarily going to the broker to ask specifically for advice, and in a lot of instances in personalized insurers wanting to actually transact across online particular platforms, how will that work? So it's going to be quite interesting how that actually transforms over the next couple of years. I think the opportunities for Africans is essentially to look at retail markets, to look at the bank insurers, to look at how they can essentially use technology, which underpins those solutions, to enhance and evolve those distribution channels. So essentially take a lot more business on the online space and not necessarily compete around the brokers. But it'll be interesting to see what they do within the broker environment and how the brokers would work within Africa. Just last in that point, in actual fact, in Africa, we're probably more advanced in the mobile space than the Europes. So M-Pesa, as an example, which is a payment platform, well developed in Africa, and certainly in mobile insurance is very advanced in Africa.
Tell us more about SSP Worldwide and your services and how you're helping clients see some of those opportunities you've mentioned.
Sure. I think in digital mobile and specifically distribution solutions, that's essentially what we do. So at the core, we are a technology partner to general insurers. We have experience that extends back 30 odd years across 175 customers. We take a lot of that experience and we utilize that in the African continent. So in Africa, as an example, we have customers across 12 different territories, an excess of about 20, 25 customers across Africa. So essentially what we're looking to do there is cut costs, increase efficiencies, and help them with those particular distribution strategies. And we do that through a numerous amount of potential solutions. So we have core back-end administration systems. And what you'll find across Africa, a lot of those older legacy systems just don't keep up with digitalization requirements. So certainly we've been very successful across various African countries to help them. And we do that, and I think the advantage that SSP has is ultimately we are an international organization. We understand the digital trends, we understand the mature markets, what's happening there, and we bring that to the African continent. Our solutions are fit for purpose, so it's not a situation where we bring in and leapfrogging information from an international market, but certainly we have the insight from international market, but insurance systems that operate in Africa.
In line with the theme for this year's conference, which is African Insurance in the Face of Mass Events, there's been a big discussion around understanding risk exposures and pricing accordingly. In the African context, how is technology being used to facilitate that?
I think it's an interesting question. If you look at managing catastrophes in itself, unfortunately a lot of insurers are not really good at doing that. And that's globally. Essentially the way to do that in an internal environment and understanding the risk is through using business intelligence tools. You know, there was an interview earlier where they were talking around essentially a collaboration required across the various countries to understand specifically those risks. And I think there's certainly an opportunity where technology can play a part to support the collaboration across the various territories. And if we can get that right, we can essentially start seeing how we can use technology to do that. As an example, in the UK, we've been able to achieve that and support and assist our type of insurers. So what insurers are doing is they're essentially enriching their particular data by obtaining a lot of information from various third-party sources. They're optimizing the price, and they're doing that through data insight and analysis. And I think the opportunity exists to do that across Africa.
Fantastic. Thank you, Clinton.